the top stories, Minister Richards gives update on Kenyon's water challenges. Jamaica's health minister signs contract for new field hospitals, and Argentine women urge president to fulfill legal abortion promise. Hello and welcome to the ZIZ Midday Newscast. Today is Tuesday, September 29, 2020. I am your presenter, Shaina Flanders. Nationally, Minister of Public Utilities, the Honorable Sean Richards, says plans are moving ahead to address the water supply concerns of residents of Kenyon. In an interview with ZIZ News on Tuesday, Minister Richards said right now the ministry is negotiating a contract to pursue water exploration in the Kenyon area. He explained what the water exploration will entail. It seems we're having a bit of technical difficulties here. We'll just continue with the local story. So he said that the alternative of a desalination plant is also on the table, but it's still in the very early planning stages.
Some people would like
in the
to
top stories,
cancel
Minister
2020.
Richards gives update on Kenyon's water challenges. Jamaica's health minister signs contract for more field hospitals, And Argentina women urge president to fulfill legal abortion promise. Hello and welcome to the ZIZ Midday Newscast. Today is Tuesday, September 29, 2020. I am your presenter, Shaira Flanders. Nationally, Minister of Public Utilities, the Honorable Sean Richards, says plans are moving ahead to address the water supply concerns of residents of Kayon. In an interview with ZIZ News on Tuesday, Minister Richards said right now the ministry is negotiating a contract to pursue water exploration in the Kayon area. He explained what the water exploration would entail.
When the tender documents have been...
Some people would like to cancel 2020, but I won't, because it allows us to analyze, to reflect, to dissect, and to see where we are going and what amendments we need to make to the educational ecosystem.
In the meantime, the minister said the primary focus is on securing suitable underground water sources for the people of Kayon.
We have transitional challenges, certainly, but I look forward with a high...
2020 has been quite challenging for the faculty and staff of the Clarence Fitzroy Bryant College, or CFBC, but President Dr. Jacqueline Austin said that there are many positive lessons that the administration is taking away. She was at the time speaking at a CXC and Cape press conference on Monday.
But I look forward with a high level of expectation to what we can do and who we will become and all that we will be able to achieve in spite of and despite those challenges presented to us by the COVID-19 pandemic.
The primary source of this challenge came as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic, which has essentially transformed every aspect of life around the world. The education sector in particular has been deeply impacted, as the large number of students in schools poses a greater risk for spreading the contagious virus. Like many local, regional, and international educational institutions around the world, the CFBC suspended in-person or face-to-face learning in the elderly stages of the pandemic. Many classes were held virtually. Since then, schools have reopened. Dr. Austin spoke of the transitional challenges that have since followed. The president noted that the students, faculty, and staff would continue to, quote, strive for excellence. And as we wrap up local news, owner of the care nursing agency, Keisha Rollins, will be distributing care packages to the elderly during the care nursing agency's Elderly Allen Tour on October 1st, 2020. Rollins, who is also an assistant nurse manager at the JNF General Hospital, explained why she decided to host this event.
We decided to do this because we usually have an event at the Marriott on the 1st of October every year, International Day of Older Persons, but in light of the COVID, we could not do that, so we decided to go to the persons in the community.
She noted that the group has so far accumulated 170 packages and counting. Rollins mentioned that the group has enlisted the help of health centers around St. Kitts to provide 2 recipients for the care packages.
We also have stuff for the shut-ins, those who cannot come to us, and in light of the situation, we cannot go to them directly to their house. So some of the nurses would take these packages or family members to them.
She added that there will be more events planned for the elderly during the month of October, but currently there is the continuation of the Sunday Health Series discussion on care of the elderly on Sunday, October 4th at the Care Nursing Agency on 4th Thomas Road. On the regional scene on Friday, Jamaica's Health Minister, Dr. Christopher Tufton, signed a contract for the construction of 2 additional field hospitals in response to the increase in COVID-19 hospitalization cases. We hear more in this CVM News report.
19 wards at the Falmouth Hospital in Trelawney and the St. Joseph's Hospital in St. Andrew will not be mobile structures like the one recently installed at the National Chest Hospital, also in St. Andrew. They will instead be concrete buildings to accommodate the influx of COVID-19 patients and will remain even after the pandemic.
In that it will be financed by the government of Jamaica, and it has always been a part of the program of bed expansion in anticipation of this phase of COVID, that would cause us to have some excess capacity just in case we need it. The value of these build-out is approximately $199 million.
In addition, the government is looking to procure another mobile hospital from Canada to be placed somewhere in the center of the country. Meanwhile, Dr. Tufton is expressing disappointment in the spread of COVID-19 conspiracy theories.
But you have the COVID conspiracy around election and when it was called, and whether you announced it, information before or after. You have the COVID conspiracy around vaccination and whether you're in league with Bill Gates or whomever else in order to push vaccination on black people.
He points out that these conspiracy theories do nothing for the COVID-19 response but undermine the strategic thinking and the collaborative effort to overcome the health crisis.
And so I say to Jamaicans and to those who are in doubt, if you are in doubt, seek clarity, because we
Trinidad and Tobago's agriculture sector has not been immune to challenges as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic, but farmers are hoping that much-needed relief will come their way in the upcoming budget. Here's more in this TTT News Report.
The money is so thin coming, you can't afford to pay somebody to work. So we are trying to do whatever little we could do in order to keep the business afloat. And if things don't work out sooner or later, we'll have to close it.
Like so many other businesses, those in agriculture are facing the pinch. Mr. Rambaran says while there seemed to be an increase in home gardening and alternative gardening methods in the early part of the COVID-19 restrictions, that has slowed down, putting businesses like his in jeopardy. He says farmers are looking towards the budget to see if some of the incentives in the industry will continue and if a few other much-needed ones will be introduced. Rice farmer Richard Singh says he was forced to diversify his offering.
Things slow down a little bit in the country, so plenty farmer sales drop. Myself, like right now, I diversify more in corn now, right? Because more people trying to eat more local, so I'm supporting that right now.
He's also changed tactics, eliminating the middleman, so to speak, bringing his corn and sweet potatoes straight to the consumer. He had this suggestion to help not only the farmers, but those in making healthy food more accessible to those who need it.
If the government could support the farmers more direct in a sense, like use the food card could be real beneficial to the farmers in a sense, they give them direct market day. So what happened, the food card, and then you're getting people to eat more local, because once again, free food, you're going to take it.
He wants citizens to support local and eat local, not only to improve health, but to provide jobs. During the 2020 general election campaign, a commitment of $500 million to stimulate and incentivize growth and investment in the agriculture sector, introduction of climate-proofing interventions, particularly for small-scale fisheries to combat negative climate impacts, and increased access to financing, land and equipment for both traditional and non-traditional farming methods were among the promises made to stakeholders of the industry. Stacey Ann Providence, TTT News.
On the international scene, hundreds of women in Argentina have gathered in the capital, calling on the president to fulfill his promise to legalize abortion. Nearly 500,000 illegal and unsafe abortions are performed there each year, and many women die from complications associated with the procedure. Al Jazeera's Teresa Bo reports from Buenos Aires.
Earlier this year, it seemed Argentina was ready to debate once again the legalization of abortion in this mostly Catholic country. It was a campaign promise by President Alberto Fernández. But then the pandemic happened. Alejandrina Barry says the government is using coronavirus as an excuse to postpone the debate in Congress.
The government says it's not a priority, and yet the government acknowledges it is a matter of public health. They're delaying the debate. There's a social crisis, and abortion and contraceptives are crucial because it's affecting the poor. We need answers and a law that protects women.
In the times of COVID-19, the green scarves that have come to represent the call for free and safe abortions have been replaced by green masks. But the goal remains the same. In Argentina, abortion is legal only in case of rape or if a woman's life is at risk. But hundreds of thousands of abortions happen in a clandestine way, using pills and other methods at home. Amnesty International is part of a campaign to raise awareness on the consequences clandestine abortions have on women's lives.
Human rights groups say that thousands of women are hospitalized every year because of clandestine botched abortions. And they say that this is a matter of public health and that's why it needs to be debated urgently.
In 2018, the bill was rejected by the Senate after clearing the lower house. It was the first time the bill was debated in Congress. But even though Fernandez was keen on seeing the debate in Congress once again, women here say the government is prioritizing the relationship with Pope Francis, who is also Argentinian.
Now we are hearing the Pope is planning to come to Argentina next year, and the government wants to guarantee those negotiations because the Pope is helping with the International Monetary Fund to pay the foreign debt. But women will continue to die, so we will continue to demand what we believe is our right.
A right that these women say has been denied for far too long. Teresa Bo, Al Jazeera, Buenos Aires.
Still on the international scene, tests for COVID-19 that show on-the-spot results in 15 to 30 minutes are about to be rolled out across the world, potentially saving many thousands of lives and slowing the pandemic in both poor and rich countries. Here's more in this report.
The tests show on-the-spot results in 15 to 30 minutes and could save many thousands of lives. Two companies, South Korea's ST Biosensor and Abbott in the US, are being given emergency approval by the World Health Organization. The test was demonstrated at the White House.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Into the test, twisted 3 times. The adhesive is pulled off, and you wait 15 minutes, and that is the test.
The World Health Organization is planning to make 120 million rapid tests available to poorer countries, but only if it can find the money.
This will enable the expansion of testing, particularly in hard-to-reach areas that do not have lab facilities or enough trained health workers to carry out PCR tests. This is a vital addition to their testing capacity and especially important in areas of high transmission.
But countries in Europe are still struggling with a surge in new infections. Until now, the Netherlands has had some of the most relaxed restrictions. But it's now introducing a host of new measures. Limited travel, recommended masks, early closing for bars and restaurants, and public gatherings discouraged. The Spanish government says it will do whatever it takes to curb a surge in Madrid, warning of drastic measures if the region fails to move decisively to slow the spread of infections. And Slovakia's government is set to declare a second state of emergency following a sharp rise in cases. Bars will close early and all sporting and cultural events, including religious services, will be banned from October 1st.
And now for the weather. Present weather is cloudy. A moderate breeze of 13 miles per hour is blowing from the east-northeast. Today's temperature will peak at 28 degrees Celsius. That's 82 degrees Fahrenheit. Today, conditions are expected to be cloudy and showery with a 60% or a moderate chance of thunderstorms. Expect cloudy skies with a 70% or a high chance of showers tonight. Sunset today will be at 6:02 p.m. and the sun is expected to rise tomorrow at 6:01 a.m. And that brings us to the end of the ZIZ Midday Newscast. Join us this evening for these stories and more in detail. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm your presenter, Shaira Flanders. Have a good one.